Hello, Idiot of Fandom here, and I'm back at you with another video. And today we'll be having a little bit of a throwback as we'll be looking at the first ever Tardis playset available. Yes, behold the Dapol Doctor Who 25th Anniversary Commemorative set. Dapol is mainly known for its model train line, but from 1988 to 2002 they also produced Doctor Who figures. Looking back, it's an odd choice of company to be given the Doctor Who toy license, but I guess you can say that some of these toys have become quite iconic or infamous in the Doctor Who figure community, judging on how you look at it. And today we're actually looking at the set that kicked it all off. This set now is one that I'm really happy that I've actually got in my collection. I've been looking for one for years and finally just got one on eBay quite recently, and I'm over the moon. So this particular one also is in pretty good condition considering the age. So if we take a closer look now, this is a pretty big box. As you can see, this is my hand near it. We've got a bit of damage, but that is expected. This is obviously from the late 80s, so you will give it some breathing space, you know what I mean? I wasn't going to pay the horrendous money that the pristine condition ones would have been. This one's in pretty good condition, I think. So as you can see, there are a few creases and a few scuff marks on the box and that, but it's nothing that's horrible. But taking a look at the box here, we've got the 1987 to 1989 Doctor Who logo, which is of course the last one of the classic series. The Seventh Doctor's title sequence sort of motif going on here. We've got a all black box with some yellow lining. It's sort of like those retro Star Wars-y sort of figures, Kenner figures you'd get at the time. It's a very nice presentation as well. You get all the figures here in front of you. You see everything you get basically besides the base. So this set does obviously come with the Doctor, Mel, K9, his umbrella, and the very accurate 5-panel TARDIS. Here's something you wouldn't see on the character option line now. There's an actual picture of the playset assembled, being played with by two children who look very excited there. And this diorama playset with a battery operated console, flashing lights, TARDIS features opening doors and flashing light, K9, the Doctor's personal robotic dog with pullback action. Very interesting stuff. And it was, I mean, for any Doctor Who fan back in the 80s, I mean, I bet this was mind-blowing. I can guarantee you that. I mean, I'd straight there, I'd probably bought about 3 of them back then, because they would have been cheap as hell. You wouldn't have to pay those horrendous eBay prices. So looking at the side of the box, and this is basically what you're going to get on all sides of the box, so I'll just show you here now. You've got the Doctor, Mel, K9, and TARDIS console and Tetrap and TARDIS, and this was basically what you could get at the time from Dapol, as you know, they were pretty new. So many other characters available as separate items. That's kind of a lie. Basically everything but the Tetrap does come in this set. Pretty nice presentation. I mean, it's a shame it's not a picture of the figures, but you know, what can you do? I guess they were brand new at this point, so they didn't really have much stock images. So yeah, without further ado, let's open the box and take a look at the beautiful contents of this box. I've got to say, I'm really impressed with the presentation of the box. You know, you just got everything laid out in a very easy fashion where you can just quickly pull everything out. So I'm going to get everything out now and assemble it so you can have a sort of feel of what the set looks like. Before I do a little time lapse of the construction, included in this set is the instructions, which still exist, which is an amazing thing in itself. We've got some information on the motor. This is quite cool. It's quite cool that it still exists. Also, something that's a bit more interesting is this sort of advertisement magazine thing that did come with the set. It's survived the test of time, I must say that. It's almost in near perfect condition besides the creasing. Nice picture of the TARDIS console playset put together again there with the Doctor, Mel and K9. They're a very memorable TARDIS team, to say the least. I really inside also, I think is very nice. Funny how we were promised some 12-inch figures of Ace and the Doctor. They obviously never materialised, but hey ho. Pause that if you wish to read it. Ooh, look here, we've got the 7th Doctor's pullover, which is be the envy of the Time Lords by wearing this quality-made garment of the Doctor's with the pullover with the question mark motif. Available in the usual sizes, 100% acrylic washable. Ah yes, who wouldn't want one of them? I mean, you wouldn't want one of them, they'd make you look daft. There's the back. It's got some actual pictures on it of the figures. As you can see, it's all very nice. They've got the tetrap there, which wasn't, and here's some of their plans for the future also. And here is the console room completely assembled, and I must say it is very reminiscent to the one you get on the TV show, especially at this point in time, of course, because it was pretty old and battered. We'll start off by looking at the figures. And here we have K9. K9 was probably added due to this set being an anniversary set, and come on, who actually hates K9? This is the grey version, as it seems, so I am unaware if it is the original or not, because I think the original that came in this set was green. Please correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but this is definitely a grey colour. Sadly, this one's head has snapped off, but it can be fitted back into place, which I have done. I'm not going to force it back out. I was aware of this when purchasing, so it's all good. There's a pullback feature on the K9, which really doesn't work anymore, not even on this here surface. You can see it in the background there. Yeah, it doesn't really work, sadly. It's very worn out, obviously, from all the years of play it's had, probably. But yeah, overall, it's a very nice representation of K9. The tail was supposed to waggle and the head was supposed to nod, but yeah, this one's taken a few beatings over the years. Now, let's have a look at, yes, the Rani. No, sorry, I mean Mel. Mel, by all means, wasn't the first choice in any Who fans' minds for the first ever companion figure, but alas, there she is. There is basically no resemblance to Bonnie Langford other than the hair made. Just look at that. Yeah, so the hair is probably a bit bang on, but other than that, that could be anyone with that sinister grin. The articulation on this figure is very basic. It's just, you know, your legs go up and down, the knees bend, the arms go up and down, the knees and the elbows bend, and that's about it. And all I can say is it is extremely difficult to stand this figure up. The clothes she's wearing is from the episode Time in the Rani. I think there was another version with the blue coat as well, which was from Paradise Towers. Oh. And finally we have the main man, the 7th Doctor, or you could say the real McCoy. He was of course the current Doctor at the time of this set's release. Now, have you noticed, is it me or is it just that Dapol has captured Sylvester McCoy's likeness down to a T there? I mean, just look at that, uncanny. If we didn't have the question mark vest painted on, and the hat and that little scarf and the brolly, I'm sure we wouldn't be able to tell that this was Sylvester McCoy at all. But you know, it's quite a good representation. I mean, we've got the season 24-25 colours on him. He does come with his umbrella as well, if you don't mind me taking that for a second off your sill. Sadly, this one has been, I think, glued back on, and the red paint has faded over the years, so it just does look black, but there is a bit of red in it. I don't know if you can catch it and see that on the camera or not, but there is a bit of red there present. The Seventh Doctor's articulation is similar to Mel's, you know, the arms do a 360 bend at the elbows. The head turns on this one though because he hasn't got the hair to hinder him. The legs bend, the knees bend, and that's your lot for articulation really. Aren't too bad, you know, for the first ever proper action figure range we got in the late 80s. It was a good start. I mean, you know, they've progressed now with the character options, but I'm sure these made loads of children, loads of adults even probably happy back then, and still do nowadays with the nostalgia. Swiftly moving on to the main event, the TARDIS console room. It really does look the part. From the roundels to the controls, it just really does a great job of recreating the real set. Taking a look at the console itself, there's only two different styles of panels that we have on it, and that is this clear panel here with just the buttons on it. It's just very basically detailed, but you know, you've got these red lines here. It really does look like the console you did get in the 80s. You know, the time rotor's been faithfully recreated, as you can see. It's not yellowed over the years either that bad, so it's quite good. Besides on the screens here, some sort of frosted screen. Yeah, it's a very good TARDIS console. Of course, the only two gripes with it is that it is 5 panels instead of 6. I don't know what the hell they were thinking. I think it's because they only got a picture of the TARDIS console sort of like this, so they just assumed that it was 5. You've got, you know, the big battery compartment here, and as you can see, it did take 4 AA batteries, this one. So having a closer look at these walls, once they are dismantled from each other, this middle piece is just an extra piece to help you expand the wall. But then we turn these around, and there is the TARDIS again. And if I just grab 2 of the pieces that came in the box, this piece and this piece, as you can see, this base has these little nibs. We're going to try and connect the TARDIS. So here it is, the TARDIS exterior. Now this TARDIS exterior always reminds me of the actual TARDIS that was in the title sequence at the time. You know, the one that flew around in the bubble because of its terrible CGI aesthetic. It does always remind me of this plasticky looking TARDIS. I think it's just brilliant. It's a brilliant representation of the TARDIS. This was of course the most accurate one you could get until the character options one, really, in this sort of size. It's very overscaled from the figures, like the TARDIS console itself really, but that's not a biggie for me anyway. They are quite compatible with the character options range in a way, just for them that are curious. This also has a light up feature. As we can see here, this piece has a switch on there, but I haven't put a battery in it yet. That's what I'm going to do at the end of this video now. Just have a quick 360 look. It's all very nicely detailed. That's been the TARDIS. I must say, I do like the TARDIS very much so. I love the retro feel of it, and I think it holds up the test of time. Right, so I'm going to end this video in trying to find out if these things work. I've never seen them work, you know, myself yet either. So let's see if this thing works. So the TARDIS console does not work. Well, since that failed, we will try out the see if this works. So this is another battery compartment, as you can see in the lid. Oh, that one is rather stuck. So I'm inserting the batteries. Now, for all I know, these could have had the switches on during transport and that, so that might also add to the reason why they don't work. Let's see if this works. Ah, no. Well, that was anticlimactic. And that's been my review on the Dapol Tardis playset 25th anniversary commemorative set thingamajiggy. If you did like the video, please leave a like and press subscribe. there'll be more content coming soon. I'm not quite sure what, but yeah, just stay tuned.